You have heard it all before. Journalism is necessary for a well-functioning democracy. As such, journalism must be independent. Otherwise, journalism cannot legitimately hold the powerful to account. We must allow the watchdog to bite the hand that feeds it. Likewise, if we agree that a key democratic role is providing citizens with the information they need to make informed political decisions, then it is self-evident that journalism should provide this information in an independent fashion. Journalism must not willingly provide only information that advances the agenda of some other interest, or worse, act as the willing mouthpiece of any political or commercial actor. If journalism does not fulfill these criteria of independence, it is not journalism, merely propaganda. In order for journalism to perform its democratic role, it needs to be independent from all kinds of forces and other societal institutions that would seek to limit or influence its coverage and activities. By extension, this demand for independence necessarily also applies to individual journalists. In order to be professional, they need to remain independent, not only of all outside interests, but also of their own personal beliefs. They must make their decisions free from undue outside influence. In other words, both journalists as individuals and journalism as a societal institution must be autonomous. We find some variation of this standard account of the necessary role of journalism in contemporary liberal democracy in many books and articles about journalism, academic or otherwise. The gist of this standard account, the mainstream view, is that journalism as a societal institution must be independent from other social institutions, and that individual journalists must enact this independence in their day-to-day work. Journalists should not favor particular sources. They should report the news without an agenda, and they should ignore attempts to influence their reporting, even when such attempts come from those who pay their salaries. That is, news media owners and, indirectly, advertisers. We call such an account an invocation of journalism. We choose the word invocation because we have seen many such statements over the course of our careers. We may even be guilty of having written a few of them ourselves, and we have noted that this kind of account frequently has a ritualistic quality to it. It is a supplication to a higher power, a spell to ward off criticism. Journalists use such invocations for mainly two reasons. First, they do so to legitimize what they do and give their work some meaning beyond knocking out 500 words about a 4-car pileup on the local freeway before their deadline. Journalists are not just writers for hire. They are independent performers of a public duty. Second, journalists also use invocations of journalism for the purposes of maintaining and affirming the bonds within a community of practitioners, a community of peers who share the invocation and who can use it as moral compass and a source of strength. Actors outside journalism use invocations of journalism as well. Politicians use them to assure voters or other stakeholders that they are committed to a free press, open debate, and the need for an independent accounting of their own activities, though many politicians today prefer to use a reverse version of this invocation, promising to crack down on and limit the power of an unruly, disloyal journalism. Not least, journalism scholars also frequently use invocations of journalism to persuade their students or readers, the latter of whom are mostly other journalism scholars, that their object of study is worthy. Of course it is, because it is essential to democracy. An invocation can use a range of words and phrases to achieve the linkage between journalism and democracy. Objectivity, truth, the public interest, or public enlightenment are common examples, but independence is always a central part of the enchantment. The general content of an invocation of journalism is so widely agreed upon that made-up characters also use it.